established a no...
We got an unlicensed, illegally run preschool with teachers that weren't even qualified in it.
This is the offender, the posh and very expensive Hilltop Prep School in Auckland's western suburbs. Hilltop's been running an illegal preschool since 1990. For 7 years now, they've been breaching the Education Act. And to make matters worse, they've been telling people the school is fully licensed. Like all parents, Lisa King wants the best for her child. She thought she was getting that when she forked out big money to send 4-year-old Charlton to the Hilltop preschool at the beginning of this year.
We first had to pay a lodgement of application fee, which was $60. Upon that, there was an acceptance fee of $300. Then there was a tuition and stationery fee of $1,475 and a building department levy of $200.
So what was the total fee?
$2,450.
It's a lot of money, isn't it?
Yes, indeed, an absolute lot of money.
Turns out that wasn't money well spent. Hilltop and young Charlton didn't hit it off. Lisa pulled him out after just a few weeks. He was accused of being disruptive, but that's at odds with reports from his previous preschools.
And he's also going to one now, which I put him into after I pulled him out of Hilltop, and we've had fantastic reports. He's very assertive, but he's certainly not a naughty boy. I've never had, and I still don't have behavioural problems with him.
So, after just a few weeks, Charlton was withdrawn from the school. Lisa had paid big money to put him there, almost $2,500.
She says she couldn't understand why her son had settled in well at previous preschools, but not at Hilltop. So she did some checking, and so did we.
Hilltop Preschool's never been licensed because it hasn't come up to scratch. The Ministry of Education sets rules for preschools. They cover things like the qualifications of the teachers, the layout of the building, and the curriculum.
You know, I would never put a child into an unlicensed preschool. It was unlicensed, it had teachers that weren't even qualified to teach those children, and that just makes me really cross. And here they are saying that I had the child with a behavioural problem. They didn't even have the qualified teachers in the class to be able to deal with situations.
Hilltop is publicly advertising it's licensed. Its prospectus says it's a registered private day school for boys and girls from preschool through to Form 2.
It makes me very angry to think that they can pass themselves off like this. There's a lot of other people that, you know, I'm sure will be getting prospectuses, and why should they be told lies, basically? And I think it's a very arrogant way that the school is passing itself off as being a licensed facility.
We stress the only part of Hilltop which isn't licensed is the preschool. No problem with the other classes.
But we think parents deserve answers on some basic questions. How can a preschool operate illegally, and why wasn't something done about it?
And what about the teachers? At the time Charlton was there, Hilltop didn't have a qualified preschool teacher, although his class was supervised by a primary teacher and a teacher's aide.
And Hilltop can't claim it didn't know about the law.
The Ministry of Education says it's been trying since 1995 to get Hilltop to toe the line. It says it treats the matter seriously and it expects Hilltop to meet all its legal requirements.
Here they are passing themselves off as a, you know, a school that offers more in the education department, the curriculum department, and they don't. They don't even offer as good as a public preschool that's licensed down the road, really.
Hilltop School declined our invitation to discuss this whole issue on camera, but the Board of Trustees has sent a written statement.
It says a new board took over late last year and is working to get the preschool licensed. Hilltop hopes to have that done within a few weeks.
As for returning Lisa's fees of $2,500, Hilltop says that matter's being dealt with by the Disputes Tribunal. However, it says it won't be charging Lisa cancellation fees.
It's fair to report that we have received faxes from 4 parents in support of Hilltop Preschool.
We accept that, but we don't accept that a preschool should be operating for 7 years without meeting its full legal obligations.
Still at school, and more parents who reckon they're not getting a fair go. In this case, everyone's being taken for a ride.
Now, we'd be the first to admit this isn't a rip-off of the century, but how would you feel if almost everyone in the bus was riding for free, but you had to pay? Passengers on this school bus who don't think they're getting a fair go. If you're a Massey High School student and you live here on the Whenuapai side of the road, you'll pay $50 a term to catch the school bus. But if you live here on the Herald Island side, you pay nothing. And that geographical discrimination has got some Whenuapai parents really wound up.
Well, it was at the beginning of the year.
We got notification from the school, I think it was, and they told us that we'd be having to pay $50 a term to get our children to school. In Herald Island, we found out that Herald Island weren't included in that paying system, even though the same bus goes to Herald Island that picks our kids up. And so we just didn't pay. We decided it wasn't fair.
$50 a term on the school bus seems relatively cheap, but it's the Education Ministry's selective charging policy that's got up Raywin's nose.
And we'd be happy to pay it if it's fair across the board for everybody. And they set these rules down, and they haven't made the rules apply to everybody.
According to the Ministry's school transport policy,
students with access to suitable public transport are not eligible for transport assistance.
So why are Herald Island students getting on the school bus for free when this public bus travels right to their doorstep? When the Ministry of Education surveyed Massey High School's bus routes last year, it was decided Herald Island students didn't have reliable public transport. So Massey High was given money to bus them to and from school.
So, what's the problem? Turns out the Ministry of Education surveyed the bus routes last year, but since then, the public bus company improved its service, so the survey's out of date.
Oh dear, but that's not all. The Ministry got its sums wrong too. The school transport policy says
students living within 2.4 kilometres of a public bus service are not entitled to free school transport.
But there's a public bus stop only 1.9 kilometres away from Herald Island. What a difference a K makes. Well, half a K in this case. Raywin Murko again.
Well, we're really close, as you've seen. You've seen where Herald Island is compared to us. And it's not really fair when one section of that community is having to pay for a service when the other one is not. And it's the same service. The bus goes right past our door out here and then goes on to Herald Island.
Massey High School's principal, Bruce Ritchie, blames the Education Ministry. He thinks when they did their transport survey, they got it wrong.
Well, I think the Ministry must have misread the timetables at that time. Certainly there are buses that sometimes serve Whenuapai and not Herald Island, and maybe they got confused on that issue, I don't know. But they certainly made the mistake, and I think they have to live with it and they have to redress the problem.
But has the Ministry admitted to you that they made the mistake?
Yes, the Ministry have told us that they have made a mistake with regards to Herald Island, but we believe that they have to live with that for this year, and to redress that imbalance, so should Whenuapai be free transport.
The Education Ministry in Auckland didn't want to front on this one, but they're sticking to their guns. Herald Island kids get free school transport, students from Whenuapai don't, and Whenuapai parents won't get reimbursed.
I think to be fair to Whenuapai residents that have paid, they either refund the people that have paid this year and start from scratch next year and everybody pays. That would be what I would like to see.
And it seems the students who catch the bus agree.
Whenuapai and Herald Island are basically the same, so I reckon that it should be either all free or all paying.
They get exactly the same public bus service as we do, so what is the difference?
I do believe that Whenuapai people should get on for free as well, and yeah, let's both be happy.
Yeah, we reckon the students are right. It seems simple, doesn't it? A mistake's been made, fair enough, that happens. And hopefully it all gets straightened out next year. But in the meantime, wouldn't it make more sense to charge everybody or charge nobody?
Okay, still to come tonight on Fair Go, a problem we didn't count on last week when Kevin met up with Moirihu.
How are you getting Michael Jackson over here?
That's none of your business.
How are you getting Michael Jordan over here?
This is good publicity for me. That's none of your business. I'll do it my way.